As you can see from the title, I had a huge losing streak over the past 2-3 weeks, which is the reason why I took some time off of social media to first figure out what I was actually doing wrong and how to fix that, which is the topic of today's video. In the next 5 to 10 minutes, I show you what I was actually doing wrong trading wise in relation to ICT's concepts, and then I will talk about how I was able to find the root cause of my losing trades, and then I'll show you my kind of unique approach on how to fix and come back out of this drawdown and overcome my fear and gain back my confidence. So what I was doing wrong trading wise is in NQ we were trading in all-time highs. So according to ICT, he says when trading in a perpetual bull market, for example, as we were trading in all-time highs, you don't want to be the one who's picking the top in the bullish market. In other words, you don't want to be the one who picks the reversal in the bullish market, but you want to be the one who is entering longs on the little retracement. And in NQ, I wasn't wanting to be the one who's picking, obviously, the reversal. So I was a perpetual bull. I just married my bias and wasn't looking for any signs to move lower, or I wasn't realizing that the market might turn now and is not looking for a buy side anymore. And what I found myself in a position oftentimes was I was looking for sell side liquidity to get swept to then enter on a long on a market structure shift to the buy side. Obviously I did that and I was getting stopped out numerous times, and then price was moving lower again, and I thought, okay, maybe it's just taking one more sell side liquidity, maybe just the sell side liquidity was wrong that I picked. Maybe it's just taking one more sell side liquidity before it moves now to the upside. Not realizing that we were just not in the bullish market anymore, but we were in a bearish intraday and maybe overall in a high time frame also now in the bearish market. And I didn't realize that. And what I did to find this root cause, that I was actually now the one who is trying to pick the bottom in a bearish market, because obviously if you now look at the Nasdaq, we created an intermediate term high and are now moving lower. So what I wasn't realizing is that I was now the one who was picking the bottom in the bearish market. I didn't realize that we were now in a bearish market. So yeah, that was actually the root problem of, or the root cause of my losing trades. And the way I actually found that out was I just rewind my journal entries and was just reviewing my entries, and the common pattern I saw of all these losing trades, was the fact that I was trying to pick the bottoms in the bearish market or the tops in the bullish market. So, and according to ICT, we obviously don't want to be doing that. Except for this mistake, I obviously found a couple of other mistakes that I was doing wrong here and there. And what I did to came back out of drawdown, or like find a solution to be able to cut now this losing streak of mine, was just writing down bullet points that I want to see before executing my model. So I summarized my model in bullet points. Then I summarized the most important rules or market conditions criteria that I want to see in the market before actually executing or being part of the markets. And I also wrote down some risk management and psychology rules, okay? And this kind of looks like this, okay? It's just a little piece of paper. And now every time I'm in front of the markets, I'm looking at these rules, and every time I'm about to take a trade, I go through them, and if one of these criteria or rules are not being met, then I simply don't take the trade. But on the other side, if every rule is being checked, this gives me a lot of confidence to actually being able to then execute the trade and not hesitating or being afraid to enter and participate in the market. That was kind of the approach that I was going with to in the end being able to overcome my drawdown, and now being able to make this video after being down like 3 to 4% on my 10k account. Yeah, now I almost made all of my losses back and we are good to go now, basically. But the last 2 to 3 weeks actually were pretty damn hard for me. I really wrestled mentally after my biggest winning streak, actually. So you can imagine what it did to me psychology wise after having now 6 losing trades in a row. So how I actually was able to manage all this mental drawdown, which is also, it's not only drawdown in terms of profits, but also mentally. And very important not to get mad and over trade and over leverage, and just stay true to your rules. And I know the number one rule without writing it down. I obviously did it now, but even before, the first rule that comes to my mind always is preserve capital. It doesn't matter what happens in the markets or to my mental. I stick to my risk management rule, which is just risking 0.5% of my 10k account. And yeah, I think this is the most important thing that carried me through this period of drawdown, because it could actually been worse than only losing 3 to 4%. This is actually the one thing that lets you be part of the game, because if you freak out and get mad and overtrade and over leverage, your account's gone like this. So definitely stick to your risk management. If you are wrestling now with the drawdown, you should absolutely just copy the things I did. Just go through your journal entries, write down the most common mistakes you make, just write them down and avoid them. Simple as that. Trading is not complicated, okay? You just have to find out what is causing most of your losing trades, then doing the opposite of that. Just stick to your rules, to your risk management, and this is going to make you profitable sooner or later, definitely in the long run. I hope you got something out of this, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment down below, leave a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel. I would say I'll catch you in the next one. Be safe.